February 29, 2024. This is the S&P 500 E Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. I actually wasn't able to trade or wasn't able to focus after 8:30. The last couple of days, I've been kind of, there's just a lot of other things happening outside of trading that I wasn't able to accurately trade. And so it looks like it might spill into tomorrow. So I actually might not trade tomorrow. So I only took two trades. One was a winner, one was a loser. And I don't know what happened, but there was also some weird glitchy thing that happened. I had to shut down NinjaTrader a couple times. And when I brought it back, my markers for my trades had disappeared. They're actually there part of the day, but then I just shut down a little bit later over here. And when I restarted, kind of after the market closed, my markers disappeared. So I'll just kind of call out where my trades were. It's pretty much this one where I lost, and then this one where I won. And then after 8:30, I really couldn't trade. So I just kind of came back afterwards and just kind of looked for some really obvious setups. So that's enough about me. Today there was some economic data that came out at around 5:30 Pacific Standard. It was the core PCE and unemployment claims, and it looked like the market reacted very positively toward that. And then there wasn't really much other news that came out. It was a very large trading range, but inside this trading range, there was like one leg up, one leg down, a consolidation followed by a second leg, then two measured legs up, one leg up, consolidation, and another leg. It went right to the tick, sold off, and then made another big leg up. But this looks deceiving. This looks like a whole lot of price action, but right about here, this is actually 12:50 Pacific Standard. So this is 10 minutes of trading. And you can see how much price action there was. It's pretty volatile, pretty crazy, and moved from 51.14 all the way down to about, well, let's just say 5100. So it moved 14 points in 10 minutes. And within those 10 minutes, it pretty much chopped around pretty wildly. So don't be deceived by seeing this at the end. I'm going to go into my trades now and also the setups. It won't take too long because I'm a little rushed. So I try to kind of look through this rapidly and just kind of mark where I saw obvious trades. So in the pre-market, there was a spike up, well, a rally, and then a sell-off, and then this really big drop here. I don't know why this happened, but this looked like it happened around midnight Pacific Standard. And then it just kind of traded in this range, a very clearly defined range, but I'm not around to trade this. Right here is where the news comes out. I guess the market reacted really positively to the unemployment claims and the core PCE. It flashes up. It looks like it was a spike and a channel, but a channel best fit here. And then it kind of goes out into the open. So this is still in the pre-market. Looks like there's some kind of support here. It's respecting the EMA. And I kind of started watching the charts right about here, a little before the market opened. And I was drawing up my charts and I figured, okay, this looks like it's either going to be a really strong range, like it's going to have trouble breaking through, or potentially after this big spike up, maybe we're going to see some continuation, like a spike, consolidation, and another move up. So market opens. I did see this as a new high. It's a first entry long pullback. Technically, I have a second entry long here, but it's right here, right as soon as the market opens. And when you see this, I'm nervous, even though it's a small risk. I'm just nervous. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. There's usually a lot of orders piled up and ready, a lot of traders that are ready. And so it's hard to know exactly what's going to happen. Looked like it would have worked for maybe a quick scalp, and prices continue moving up. It's really tight trading right here. It moves up in this channel. It has trouble breaking through this consolidation. These are just really small candles up here. I don't really like looking for second entries or counting for second entries on something like this because it just feels very, well, just very tight right now. So you do, by the count, you do have a second entry long here, but it's nothing that I particularly like. It falls into what I think is a trading range. So you had a kind of a trading range. I thought some kind of trading range here because it was holding support. It looked like it was holding resistance, and then it pushes up, and then you have kind of a same character right here where it's holding support and resistance looks like it's kind of holding as well. So this is just too tight right now because it's 5100 to about 5103, maybe 5104. So it's only really 4 points. So even if you're going for just a 1 point scalp, it feels dicey. It's just really consolidating, really just side by side price action. Nothing I really particularly like. I did see this and I thought it was a possible trade, but I hesitated. So it looks like for sure you have a very strong, well-defined trading range. Previously, the market rallied up. It had trouble right here. It broke out. Now it's having trouble again right here. So this failed breakout is potentially a trade. This is only about 5 ticks long, 5 ticks candle size. So it's pretty reasonably small risk. It's at the top of the range. I thought, maybe there's a trade here, but I didn't take it. If I did, I think I would have put it probably 1 tick below because it's still far enough, giving it one extra tick is still far enough to get a good scalp. But when I saw this open and close, definitely I hesitated. And then this next candle just flushed down. So there was no way for me to even try to jump or chase after this trade. Prices then moved down on what looks like this yellow channel. I drew this blue guy here because I thought there might have been some kind of support that would be respected all the way out to here, but it didn't. It just kind of flashed through. No real good second entries that I could see. Goes down to the bottom. It breaks out of this yellow channel, and I saw this as one attempt up, one attempt down to test the lows, comes back, and then here it's about to start the second attempt. So this is actually where I took my first trade. I saw this as a break of the yellow channel. Now, in hindsight, I didn't quite have this green channel drawn at this point. I just saw it as one leg up, pull back, second leg up, up uptrend correction has played out. EMA looks like it's holding. I like this, so I decided I wanted to enter and I wanted to cut my risk down. So I actually entered pretty much where this doji is. When this one was flashing around, when it was actually down here, I thought before this candle closed, I thought that it was going to start pushing down to test the low. So my entry, it's not shown, but it was right at the lows of this candle. Now it creates a double bottom. I'm still sitting in it. I'm getting a little nervous because I'm starting to debate and figure that I don't know if I made the right decision, but I thought this is a pretty strong downtrend. It wants to test it back down because the uptrend here feels like it's played out. I drew this at the beginning, this pre-market lows, and I actually had the pre-market highs right where my cursor is. But then when it pushed up to here, I dragged it up to here, and it created a nice little midline. So it retraced about 50% of the move. So I'm thinking, okay, well, it's one leg down, push up, and then two pushes up, and a second leg down. So I'm still sitting in here. It starts going against me, and here on this candle, it stops me out. So I was kind of bummed. I thought this was a decent setup. Then I drew this green channel and I thought, okay, well, maybe it's actually a larger correction. So even though it's two legs, two tiny legs, it could actually be seen as one big leg up, pull back, and this part could be starting the second leg. So unfortunately, this trade failed, but I at the time, and I still kind of thought it was a decent setup. Then prices continue moving, breaks out of this green channel. So now it looks like on the big picture, it's one push up. It's kind of consolidating. Now it's trying to make a second attempt to test this low, at least what I think it is. It fails to kind of meet that low. And I'm thinking I might be in a trading range now, but I don't like this price action to count for second entries because it just looks really choppy. Kind of confirms there's a triple test here. So I made one attempt up, second attempt up. This is a third attempt up. But when I saw this triple test, if this was a more bearish bar, then I think I might have considered taking a trade. And then once this one pushed down, I was kind of deciding I didn't want to chase this because it is kind of pushing to the midline of this range that hasn't truly been confirmed by the lows yet. It's been confirmed by the top. It looks like there is some kind of resistance. Support is a little iffy because you could say it's one push down, second and third, but I don't like when they're this close. So I usually count it as one push down, a second push down. If there was another one here, then I would believe, okay, yeah, it's probably going to push down. I can trust that it's going to push down to this low. Lo and behold, it does make it down. And so this is my third confirmation now. One touch, two touch, three touch. When I saw this, I was watching this one close and I'm thinking, okay, now it's probably going to push back up to the top. I didn't feel like chasing it, but it looked like it would have been, let's see, 50, 90, 75, 50, 92, 25. So it would have been enough for a scalp, but I hesitated. I wasn't too sure when I saw this. Definitely hesitated when I saw this. I'm just wondering if it's losing steam. This wasn't that convincing either. And then here just felt the trade was too late. This is also where I do take my second trade, and it actually ended up being green. So you have one attempt down, second attempt, third attempt. This push back up to this high didn't make it. So it came down, it pushed. And when I saw this candle close, even though it's an inside bar and it is an aggressive trade, I saw it as a confirmed triple test or quadruple test. It looked like It didn't quite make to the top, but I saw it as one push down, one attempt up. Could at least try for second attempt, at least maybe get to the midline, and that would be enough for a scalp. And so I entered pretty much actually at the highs of this candle. I was able to get filled, and this guy, I think it was this guy or this guy actually filled me. So it kind of, it didn't really wash out this loss, but I was just watching, and it finally almost makes it to the top again and starts turning back down, and now finally breaks through. So I'm watching, looking for any kind of setup, pushes down. But at this point, I think I watched till about here. Then I had to step away from my desk, and I didn't really get back till pretty close to the end of the day. I would just say pretty much after hours, and then after this is more review after price action has already printed. So it definitely can't be, I can't really consider positive if I would have taken these trades because I already kind of already know what happened. Nevertheless, I'm going to review the charts just for my own knowledge. So then prices continue moving down. It moves up on this green channel, breaks the green channel, makes a new high, one attempt up, second attempt. But then it keeps going. So I drew this orange channel. This orange channel kind of price action moves up. It breaks. I'm wondering if it's going to test this high, but it was already faltering here. It does. It tests a new high, continues moving, comes back down. Doesn't really, EMA kind of holds. It broke through, then it came back in. Here's where I drew kind of where I thought another consolidation trading range was. Initially, when I was reviewing this chart, I thought maybe it's like this. We had these spikes and it looked like it fit pretty well. Breaks out. Kind of dragged it up to here to kind of have these touches. And it went high to low, back to high. But this time it didn't make the low and it continued and tested the highs again. So it looks like the bearish or the short traders are losing steam. I tried to look for a second entry short, first entry short. You don't get a second entry short till about here, but it's too far from the EMA. Seeing this in real time, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have tried to take any kind of trade here. It falls and starts, it doesn't fall, it continues moving up this green channel. It breaks. There's a second entry long here. It's technically a new high, first entry long, second entry long. I needed this candle to actually touch the EMA and then bounce up, but it's too close to this recent high. So seeing this in real time, if I saw it in real time, I don't think I would have taken this trade. I would have been a little hesitant. It chops around and it creates yet another trading range. It's consolidating. So it's high to low to high. Now I'm wondering if it's going to come back to the low, but I do keep in mind that EMA is starting to point up. It causes a failed breakout. Technically, you have a new low here. First entry short, second entry short. Seeing this candle in real time, I wouldn't have thought to take a short. But then once this candle opens and closes way down here, you have a confirmed second entry short, but it's too late for this trade. Then there's an inside bar. Then you have two doji bars. Definitely it's just congestion now. Breaks out and it flashes up. So nothing here would have indicated to me to take a trade. Now, again, I also saw this one leg up consolidation, a second leg up. So I'm watching with keen interest to see if this is going to bounce. It touches and it comes back down. I don't know in real time if I would have thought to trust the measured move, the strength of the measured move to think that there's a trade here. Maybe if this was a red candle, I probably would have considered it, but it would just been based off of the strength of this measured move. I would need probably another key entry point to feel more confident. Prices then continue down. This is actually where I see a possible setup. It's a new high, say first entry long, second entry long. So the second, in real time, you see this and you see this. Okay, second entry long. You do start considering the EMA is holding. If you drag this over here, it looks like it's in the range. Then you have a first entry long, second entry long failure. You have a new low, first entry short, second entry short. Now it's a break of this green channel. It made one attempt down. Now this could be the start of the second attempt down to test this low. There was a pretty strong push up already, but it made the measured move. So now there could be like a small little correction, two legs down. And I thought this could have been the start of a second leg. Now, if this was a bearish bar, even though you have first entry long, second entry long confirmed, when the failure happens here, I think I would have tried to take this trade probably at the lows of this green signal bar. So if I did, I'm not sure if I would have gotten filled. If I took it at the lows of this one, I probably would have gotten filled and then would have gotten a really quick scalp. The prices continue moving down, kind of jumps back up. It made one attempt down, two attempts down. There's a second entry short failure on this candle, but I'm not too keen on that. It made two legs down. You could think it's starting to reverse back up, but it feels like it's a little bit in the middle of nowhere. It creates a spike and what I think is potentially this yellow channel going up. And I think I kind of came back to my desk right about here. And I've already seen all this that happened. And I wasn't really too keen on trying to jump in the trade. On top of that, I drew this blue box here to show you this is 10 minutes of trading. This is 12:50 to 1 o'clock Pacific Standard. So you got a lot of stuff happening here. There could be clean setups because I did see this first entry long. You don't quite have a second entry long, which is up. You have an overshoot. You have a first entry long, potentially a second entry long, but it's below the EMA. Nothing really clean. It's just very choppy. These candles are printing really quickly, considering, with respect to its usual price action. So as I said, this is just in 10 minutes, as opposed to this is the whole day. This is the rest of the 6 hours and 20 minutes. So came back around this time, just pretty much kind of checked emails, did other things. Then after it closed right around here, that's when I came back and started reviewing the chart. And I continued moving candle by candle to see what would have happened, imagining what I would have done if I was sitting here in real time. And I'm also in a little bit of hurry, so I don't know if there are any more setups in here necessarily, but I think this one might have been a worthwhile setup. This is probably a decent setup here. It's a little more aggressive, and this one I thought was actually a decent trade. So both of these two, the first one I failed, the second one, I don't know that I would have done anything different. I think I might have still taken this trade, and I'm just kind of bummed that it didn't work out. So. Uh, Kind of a odd day, but it was a little more volatile, at least up till here, or at least kind of doing more stuff than I noticed the last few days. But yeah, it's just been interesting trading, not the easiest. So I'm not sure if I'm going to trade tomorrow, so hopefully this was helpful.